Do you ever take the apron off? I'm Jordan. Foul. Foul.
Jordan who? Jordan Poole? Because those things are beat. Bro, your cheeks. I can't save your jump shot, but I can save those shoes.
Whatever, bro. I'll take you up on that.
All right, sorry you guys had to see that. That was some pretty cringy stuff. Miguel, bro, stick to shooting, but with the camera only. Even though my boy is cheeks at basketball, we're gonna hook him up with the restoration on these Phantom Jordan 1s. First things first, we're gonna give it a cleaning using Rejuvenator Signature Shoe Cleaning Kit. First, we're gonna take out our shoelaces and insole. But we're gonna put this shoe to the side because I'm only gonna be working on one shoe. Sorry, bro. Scratch that, we're leaving the insole inside. It's in there pretty tight. If I try to force it, it's gonna rip off the entire foam bottom. Next, we're gonna grab our shoe tree. These are a size 11, so they're gonna go like around the second or third hole from the beginning. Next, we're gonna grab our 4-ounce bottle of solution and squirt 2 squirts inside our bowl of water. Before we start cleaning the shoe with brushes and solution, we're gonna grab our compressor and blow off any surface dust on the inside and outside of the shoe. All prepped, ready to go. We're gonna grab our star bristle brush. Onto the medium brush. On the toe box specifically, there are some tough stains that we gotta get out, so we'll use the next brush. All right, so far so good, you guys. The white leather looks great. We're gonna move on to the soles now so we can use our stiff bristle brush. All right, we got the soles as clean as possible. Now the last step we gotta do is put this shoe inside a sneaker laundry bag. I wanna get this shoe as clean as possible inside and out and get rid of any germs on the inside of the sneaker. So for this, we'll be putting them in the washing machine. We're also gonna need our sneaker laundry pod. Before we put them in the wash, let's grab our dirty shoelace, our leftover water and solution, and give it a quick scrub. Let's put them in the washing machine. We got the shoe out of the washing machine. We let it dry overnight. We got some great results, you guys. The shoe is back to white. They smell good. They're fully disinfected. We're ready to move on with this restoration. The soles are really yellow, so the next step we gotta do is use some Rejuvenator Sole Revive to get it back to white, also using the Vick 2000. So we're gonna apply a nice thin even coat on one side of the sole, put it under the Vick 2000. After about a couple hours, we'll switch over to the other side. In order for this to work, we need some UV rays, so let's put it in the Vick 2000. After about 4 hours, these are the results. The soles look a lot better, not just the soles, but the uppers as well. They got a lot brighter. That's the cool thing about the Vick 2000. It can also help other materials on the shoe, such as the leather and the mesh on the tongues. As far as the soles go, they naturally have a creamy aged look to it, but we did get it a few shades lighter. Now the next step we gotta focus on is this back piece. This is by far gonna be the hardest part of this restoration, but it should be doable. Back here we have some of the deepest scratches I've ever seen on a piece of leather. I don't even know how this happens, but we're gonna fix it using some sandpaper and leather filler. So we're gonna start off with some 400 and try to get it as smooth as possible first. Step 1 is complete. We got the rougher areas removed. Now for this next part, we're gonna tape off the sole and the black stitching so we don't get any leather filler on those areas. For this part, we're gonna be using a spatula to lay down the filler where it's needed. For the first layer of leather filler, you don't want to cake it on too much because it's going to make it a lot harder to sand off later on. First layer is applied. We're going to wait a good 30 minutes to an hour, let it fully dry before we start sanding once again. After letting the leather filler dry, we're going to sand it to make it nice and smooth. For the second passing, we're going to be using some 600 grit sandpaper. We're only going to sand in one direction. Now we're going to lay in our second coat of leather filler to fill in any cracks that we might have missed. second coat of leather filler's been applied. This time I let it sit for several hours to make sure it's fully dry. Now we're gonna hit it one more time with 600 grit sandpaper to get it as smooth as possible. All done with this step, we're good to go with the leather filler. We got it as smooth as possible. Now we're gonna go ahead and remove the tape so we can retape to get it ready for the paint job. Got the shoe all taped up. I do want to point out that the leather on this shoe is an off-white tone, so we mixed up the white with some cream. After we lay down the paint, we're gonna do some sanding. First couple of coats of paint is laid down. It doesn't look very pretty so far. If you look at it up close, it looks very grainy and it's really rough. So to remove that, we're gonna be using some 600 grit sandpaper. The last coat of paint has been applied. We're gonna finish it off with some 1500 grit sandpaper. This sandpaper is very fine, it's just to give it a final pass over. After all that sanding and painting, let's remove the tape. Everything looks good, but we got some overspray on the black stitching. So real quick, we're gonna grab our rejuvenator wipe and wipe it off. The hardest part about this restoration is complete, you guys. This back piece looks great. There is a couple of marks here and there, but honestly, I'm not worried. If I really wanted to, I could go back in and fill it in, but it blends in nicely with the natural creasing of the back piece. So now we're gonna move on to the front of the sneaker. Over here, we got some separation going on. Real easy stuff to take care of. We're gonna tape off the leather so we can prep it using some acetone and cotton balls. Got all the old glue removed. Make sure to never skip this step, you guys. If you guys do, the new glue simply won't bond to the material. Now we're gonna tape off the upper once again so we can lay down our barge super stick with a paintbrush. We're simply gonna lay down a thin layer on the upper and another thin layer on the sole. Glue's been applied. Now in order for this to work, we gotta let it sit for a good 20 minutes. Glue is fully cured. Now let's get the glue tacky once again using the heat gun. Now we're onto the toe box. Right now it's pretty creased up. We want to get it back to its original nice shape. So for this, we'll be using the iron method. Ideally, you want to wait several hours to let the reglue dry before you do this step. But for me, I gotta keep it moving. First step, we're gonna grab a towel, stuff it on the inside of the shoe. Once it's fully stuffed, you're gonna grab a wet cloth, place it over the toe box, grab your iron, and simply carefully iron it out. Alright guys, that is going to bring us to an end on this restoration on these Phantom Air Jordan 1s. What I did today can be done to most leather Jordan 1s. The first step I did to hook my boy up was give the shoe a proper deep clean using rejuvenated products. The shoe was filthy inside and out, but after putting him in the washing machine, we got some great results. After that, we put the shoe inside the Vick 2000, applied some rejuvenated Sortivive, got the sole to its original tint. The hardest part about this whole restoration was fixing the deep scratches on this back panel. We filled it, sanded, and painted over and over again until we fully got the scratches out. Any of these techniques that I did today can be done on any Air Jordan 1, you guys, so keep that in mind. You can find all our products at rejuvenator.com. Use my promo code down below. And if you guys liked today's video, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe to our channel. Miguel, I didn't say anything about the second shoe, bro. Go practice on your jump shot. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys next Monday. See you guys.